Bright skies, muddy footing, and tight lanes define the story of Paris, Texas, leaving 5 pro archers in each class to fight it out for the title of Easton Southwest Shootout Champion. Who will play it safe to hold position? And who will risk it all, 114 at a time? It's time to launch the Pro Pressure Point Shootdown right now. Hello everyone and welcome to the 2019 McKenzie ASA Pro-Am Tour. We're in Paris, Texas for the Easton Southwest Shootout as we are preparing for a spectacular day of 3D archery. As there are archers on the line at the moment judging targets for 3 of our 4 upcoming classes at this Easton Southwest Shootout. So as these archers prepare for what's ahead, of course, we have the women's pro class, senior pro and open pro. Those are judging right now as you look at Sharon Wallace taking a long look down range, calculating in her mind of what the distance to the target she's looking at. While they're doing that, let's take a look at the ASA Shot of the Week brought to you by Mission Crossbows. Here's PJ Riley.
Hey everybody, this is PJ Riley from Competition Archery Media out here with another ASA Shot of the Week. So we're down here in Paris, Texas at the Easton Southwest Shootout, and I am standing on range D. We found a particularly nasty target we're looking at here. It's 43-yard boar. You can see there are there's a cut log that's right near the vitals of the hog, the boar down there. And so that's going to present us some challenging. We got some light, weird light back in through there, some bright spots, some dark spots, and of course you're going to see the mud and the water. That's all over this weekend. So for the crossbow class, it's pretty unique. They have a speed restriction. So even though crossbows like this are capable of shooting up to 400 feet per second, there's a speed restriction here of 330 feet per second. Magnification, the most I can have on my scope is 6 power. So that kind of sets a level playing field for everyone. But we're going to take a shot here and see how I do. I can tell you I don't have a lot of experience with a crossbow, so we'll see what happens. All right, let's go down there and see how I did. All right, well, talk about realism. I mean, what better place to shoot a wild boar than in this swamp here with the water and everything. So, I got a 10 there, 43 yards with a crossbow. I'll take that. It was a difficult shot. This target is a dark target back here, so everything around it is dark. And then just getting here, walking through the water and the mud. I mean, we are in the swamps of Texas. So, scored a 10 on that on my first crossbow shot on an ASA range. I'm happy with that.
All right, good shooting, PJ. As these archers continue to judge the targets, they have 10 minutes before they get onto the range. Just give you an idea of who's leading the way. There's Emily McCarthy for the women's pro class. She actually leads over Sharon Wallace by 2 points heading into this shoot down. In the senior pro class, Tim Gillingham, 420, so 20 up to Tony Taza, who's at 14 up on this one. In the open pro or men's pro class, Dan McCarthy leads Levi Morgan, who's made it into the shoot down, his first appearance this season, 424 to 422. And in the known pro class, we have a newcomer, youngster Brady Hempen, tied with Donnie Thacker, 44 up apiece in a very tight and hotly contested known pro class. You want to keep it locked on that class because there's a new format for the way we're going to do the shoot down. Very exciting things to come. Well, where we are right now is actually, as I mentioned before, in Paris, Texas, at Paris High School. And this town has done an amazing job of welcoming ASA archery into the town.
People will talk about Paris, Texas, and they'll say, you got the cowboy hat on your Eiffel Tower. The city of Paris is around 25,000. Lamar County is around 50,000. We are in the northeast part of Texas. We are about 18 miles from the Red River, so we're very, very close to Oklahoma. The ASA tournament coming to Paris is just like bringing family back home. That's the kind of relationship that we have with Mike and the groups of people that come here. We look forward to ASA coming. Our community looks forward to it coming. There are so many different people that support this event coming into town that don't have a restaurant. They may be a banker. As a matter of fact, today we fed over 300 archers that are about to go out and shoot now, and we had groups from People's Bank that were in there serving those people. And they did that because they wanted to be a part of this, not because they're archers, not because they're going to benefit, so to speak, from them being here, but they just wanted to come out and be a part of this great event. So that's what Paris is about. That's what we're like. People get excited about it coming, because once this event is over on Sunday afternoon, on Monday morning, we will sit down in a meeting and decide, okay, what do we need to do better next year to make ASA better? Because they're going to come back next year, and we hope they come back year 8, just keep coming back. And that's kind of what I've told people before. If you host an event here, you're going to want to come back, because the people are going to roll out the red carpet for you, and that's what we do for them. That's what we're going to do for other events that are coming, because we want people to want to come to Paris because of how they're treated.
And they have treated us absolutely spectacularly here in Paris, Texas. And by the way, if you Google the Eiffel Tower with the cowboy hat on, it's got like a 4.5 rating. It is absolutely spectacular. Welcome everyone to the broadcast booth. My name is Greg White, sitting next to Darren Christianberry, who of course is a pro shooter and pro staff coordinator for the outdoor group. Darren, thanks so much for joining us here again.
Thanks for having me. Unfortunately, my shoot down appearances are only at the broadcast booth, but I'm working on that.
Yeah, you're working on it. Also, I have to say happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much.
His birthday today, and a lot of people around here celebrating. So obviously we're getting ready here at Paris High School in this fantastic facility to get ready for this shoot down. Interesting though, because there are lines that are on the floor here that you think that people might use for judging, but really you can't do that because we're going at a diagonal, aren't we?
At the angle they've got them set, if you're working that hard to try to figure these numbers out by the lines on the floor, it's a waste of time, really.
So judging continues, it's almost over, and after judging is done and dusted, we're going to get this shoot down going. We're going to take a break right now. Stay with us, because on the other side, it's going to be the Easton Southwest Shootout Women's Pro Class coming up.
you by Hoyt Archery, by Easton, and by Obsession Bows. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Easton Southwest Shootout in Paris, Texas. Up first, we have the Women's Pro Division. Making her very first shoot down, shooting for prime from Weston, Idaho. Shooting a 387 with 8 bonus rings, Lindsay Christensen. Shooting a 401 with 9 bonus rings from Lapeer, Michigan. Shooting for Matthews, Cara Kelly. Your third place qualifier shooting a 403 with 8 bonus rings. Shooting for Matthews from Marsden, Saskatchewan, Aaron McGlattery. Also shooting from Matthews from Townville, South Carolina, shooting a 410 with 7 bonus rings, Sharon Wallace. And your number 1 qualifier in the Women's Pro Division, also shooting for Matthews from Southwest Wisconsin, shooting a 412 with 7 bonus rings, Emily McCarthy.
All right, so here we go. Darren Christianberry, Greg White with the call on this one. And a good look at our leader. Emily McCarthy leading by 4 points. Definitely for today, our second day of shooting, our fast climber is Erin McGlattery. She was at a 208, so she shot 8 up today. I'm sorry, Sharon Wallace. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, shot 8 up today. Sharon Wallace was 2 up today. Emily McCarthy 6. So we're going to be taking a look at McGlattery in third place, seeing if she can keep the momentum going. McGlattery actually was 5 down after the first day and just clawed her way right back into contention.
Erin said she was a little bit nervous a little while ago, and I said, why? She's like, I'm not sure. I said, just do the best you can, make decisions, and whatever happens, happens.
There's first-time shoot-down participant. Her father, of course, Benton Christensen.
Lindsay's a great target shooter. I'm anxious to see how she does in her first shoot down.
This is Cara Kelly. Let's take a look at some of the targets, or list some of the targets we have.
I think Cara's starting on the Javelina, and it's a bomb. It's the longest target out there.
That was the Howling Wolf. So that would have been in position number 5. So that would have been Lindsay Christensen on that one. The first target we have is going to be the taper. Some people pronounce it tapier. First shot is going to be Emily McCarthy with a 10 to lead us off.
She must have called up her 12 there. Looks like she was in the lower.
Looked like she had caught the top. Next up is going to be Sharon Wallace.
On the strutting turkey.
Sharon's won this event 5 times in her career. Podium finisher last year here, second for Sharon Wallace in Paris, Texas. Then we go to Erin McGlattery, the Canadian. And she's going to be on that Les Bach. It's going to be a solid 10.
That'll give her a good feel of where her numbers are at, so she should be in good shape there, not going low.
Then we're going to go to Cara Kelly. She's on target number 4. And that thing is all the way down range.
It is. And you can see in that shot right there the backlighting that's coming in underneath that netting around that fence. That target, the camera makes it look fantastic, but standing here live time, that's so hard to see.
Hard to judge for these first 3 classes that we have. What you're calling that
I would
one?
say it's a 5
Yeah,
from what
like
I can see right there. It might be bending that line. They're going to get a light out, but yeah, I can see it there. I personally would probably call that a 5.
If you're bending a line, what does that mean?
If you're bending it like that foam distorts and it bends to touch the arrow, then you get the higher value.
Now we'll go over to Lindsay Christensen with her first time. You think
She said she was going 14 hunting. I believe she did.
you see the disappointment
Yeah.
on her face. Not only is she going 14 hunting, but she's got to shake off the nerves.
Yeah.
The absolute nerves.
Yeah.
I mean, I was with them on the range earlier today, and she was having a really good run at it, and then she had 2 targets where she shot a 5 and an 8, and she really started to just get that look on her face that we just saw, and she said, I need to just refocus and just shoot the way, the way I have been to get me here, and
Yeah.
she was able to hold on to that score, and here she is.
Yeah,
she
the hard part's over now, so she can relax and have some fun. If she wants to keep going at 14, she's got nothing to lose. She came in 5th, and all she can do is go up from there. So,
and she's the lone non-Matthew shooter. She's a prime shooter going up against a wave
yeah,
of yellow.
of talent and experience, and
Oh, yeah.
she's trying to bust up the sweep, but she's got a pretty tall hill to climb right now.
Weston, Idaho. It's her first year as an ASA pro. I know she's been shooting quite a bit with Linda Ochoa Anderson, and they've been working on judging and shooting, and she sends it to the tapier, just missing that
She's
14.
getting closer.
Mm-hmm.
Kara's so good and steady and focused in these shoot downs. Good strong shot.
Cara Kelly, our 2018 Women's Pro Paris, Texas champ from last year. And also, looking at Cara Kelly, I just don't think, this is round 3 of 6 for this season. And because we have 6 rounds this year in ASA competition for Shooter of the Year, which is the most accumulated points, you're only allowed to drop 1.
Right.
Cara Kelly right now leads that over Emily McCarthy. It's 827 to 816, and I don't think it's too early to talk about it because valuable points here if you're going for Shooter of the Year.
For sure. Yeah, every point counts. I mean, 1 point is huge. I mean, whether it's per day, per tournament, for Shooter of the Year, every single point is very important. That looked like a good sneak peek there on that one.
Mm-hmm. 10.
Just a 10.
So that would have been Sharon Wallace. Oh, next up would be Sharon Wallace. No, that was Sharon on target number 3. So then we go to Erin McGladdery.
Sharon and Emily are battling right now. They're tied up for first, it looks like.
By the way, I know how far they set that target, but I don't want to say in case anyone
Is listening.
who's in the next 2 classes are listening in. I don't want to blow it.
I guessed it earlier, and I call it a par 3. It may take 3 shots to get there.
All right, so Cara Kelly.
She called upper 12, so she was a couple yards short on that one. Perfect line, but just a little bit low.
Mm-hmm. Still
Good
scores
10.
a solid 10.
It's a great place to make a mistake in that 10 ring.
If you're new to ASA competition, new to 3D shooting, let's go over really the scoring and how things are scored. So you have that whole, I don't know, a lot of shooters would call it the meat, I guess, of the target. So talk us a little bit about how the scoring works.
Yeah, you can see the lung line, which would be the core line. That's going to be an 8. So anything outside of that 8 ring is in the body, which would be a 5. But as you narrow down closer to the center of the core, you'll have the 10 ring. And then inside that 10, you'll have an upper and lower 12. And if you want to shoot the upper, you have to call it. You tell your group, tell Mike while you're in the shoot down. The 14 you don't have to call while you're out here. That's the high risk ring out high right or high left, depending on where the animal's facing. But you have a lot of options out there, 5, 8, 10, 12, 14. A lot of points available every shot.
I think Emily McCarthy called upper. We saw a wide shot while you were explaining that. I think it was Emily who go ahead and motioned up.
She's on the Blesbach. Her arrow didn't take any time to get there, so it's the short target.
You can see we're all tied up 430 to 430.
Sharon's bearing down on that javelina, and it's a poke, and that's a fantastic shot.
Mm-hmm. Good, solid, strong 10 points. And she, look at the relief.
Yeah, you can tell that had her puckered up a little bit. She's happy, and that's a great effort.
So that bottom ring just off to the right is that 12.
Mm-hmm. The lower 12's always in play. That's always in play, and if someone wants to call the upper, they have to notify the group or Mike.
And that takes the lower 12 out of play.
Out
is
of
that
play.
Right?
If you accidentally fall into it, it's only a 10.
All right, so that was for Lindsay Christensen. 5 for that. She's still 14 on.
distance. Not unusual at all.
So
Next up for our co-leader.
this should be Emily McCarthy, who called the upper 12. Oh, I didn't get a good look at
It's a
that.
pretty good looking shot.
Now we're going to get. Oh. I'm no judge, but I think that's just out.
Can't tell. See what he says.
Oh,
Got
they
it.
call it a 12. Okay. All right. So that again is a case of pulling a line.
Yeah, yeah. These animals are soft. That foam is soft, and these carbon arrows, they really grab when they enter that target, and sometimes they can pull and suck that line down to the arrow shaft. And if the arrow's touching the line, you get the higher value.
We saw that shot earlier.
I know she's just got a 10, and people will think, that's a great shot. I think it's a 10. They're looking hard. She might even have the 12 there, looking at that angle right there. But that target's a long way. That backlighting, it's black. It's very hard to see any detail, hard to judge, hard to shoot, and she shot fantastic on
A
that.
rocket. She threw a rocket down there and grabbed it. So
That's a game changer right there. That's bonus points.
wow.
They have her at a 440. I believe she's 42.
Yeah, they'll update this. They'll update the left part of your screen.
Boom, there
There
it
it
is.
goes. 442, 442.
So she matched Emily's 12, so that's awesome. Those girls are battling right now.
Now, Emily, a bit of pressure on her, I think, because now she moves to the longest target you
Yes.
have on the course. So she's in position number 4, so she's going for that tiny little animal.
And Emily will be fine if she just ends up with a 10 right there. If she makes a mistake and just gets a 10, which is fine, that's fantastic. If you don't lose anything on that target, you're doing good.
And you can see there's a battle for that final spot on the podium between McGladdery and Cara Kelly. Kelly just wanting to, reality setting in, saying, look, podium's #1 goal. If I have a shot at the win, I'm going for it. But obviously we're running out of points, running out of targets.
Yeah, because if they're far enough back from the leaders, if they're not within 10, they won't get to shoot the final arrow. So they'll be broken. If they stay tied, they'll be broken by bonus rings.
Emily McCarthy going.
She hit real close to where Cara did, but I think she's got the line.
Cara with a smile on her face, thinks she knows she grabbed that 10. That's going to be the ring just to the right, that bigger ring just to the right of the arrow. As long as she's pulling that line, that's 10 value. Can't tell Cara Kelly's laughing a little bit. All right, so this is Erin McGladdery.
Oh, good shot. She called upper. Okay,
Yeah,
just missed
I was
that
gonna say,
lower,
yeah.
so she fell a little bit there.
Now for Cara Kelly. Keep in mind, McGladdery Kelly locked in this final spot on the rostrum. This arrow could be it.
Oh,
That's why I think she was kind of.
is that Cara's?
Yeah, that's Cara's. That's going to be Cara's. Now this should be Lindsay Christensen. It's going to be on our 3rd target.
Surprised she didn't go 14 hunting there.
So she got a 12.
She got her first shoot down 12. Good for her.
All right, now we're moving to what could really break up this leader situation. Over to McCarthy.
I think she clipped the 8 line there, so that's minimal damage if it is just an 8. If she got a 5, that's going to be tough to overcome this late in the game.
They're taking a good long look at it. Looks like the decision's been made from right. It's an 8.
She did catch the 8.
Yeah. No applause from the crowd on that one.
I don't know if they're focused or they're not being entertained. I'm not sure.
And with the calls we've seen, I don't think there's much question about that one.
Yeah, that's a good 10. So Sharon will take a 2-point lead then, correct?
That's correct. The 10 is scored. All right, so our 5th and final arrow, anyone within 10 points of the leader will go to a 6th arrow. At the moment, it looks like it's going to be between McCarthy and Wallace. McGladdery, though, if she goes for the big one, if she goes for the Hail Mary, 14. Well,
she's probably going to try to hit a 12, get a 10 at worst, because she's got a 5-point lead over Cara for the third place. Even if Cara shoots a 14, if Erin keeps it in a 10 ring, she could take the third spot on the podium.
Erin McGladdery from Canada has a couple of jobs that keeps her shooting archery. One of them is a kinesiologist, and the other one, she's a pest control officer. So
I
that's
did not know that.
That's a state job, absolutely, and it's part of the rat control population. So she's out there hustling,
Interesting.
working, so she can come to these events from Canada, come down here and fuel her passion for 3D archery.
Good strong shot there
Beautiful
by Sharon.
shot, Sharon, trying to go for her 6th win in Texas. Gladdery lets it fly.
She made a good solid shot.
Good solid shot.
Cara's probably going to 14 this Blesbach. Nope. She went it to 12, it looks like.
But at this point, I think there was enough daylight in between that.
Next up on the turkey for Erin McGladdery, currently holding on to 3rd place. Currently has a 5-point lead over Cara Kelly. And for Erin on the turkey, let's see. I wouldn't want to have to call that one. A 10. Nice shot for Erin. Next up for Cara Kelly on the Blesbach, currently in 4th place and currently trailing our leaders. Needs a good score here to stay in that final arrow round. An 8 for Cara, just underneath it, moves her to 439, and no longer within 10 points of our leader. For Lindsay,
That, of course, was Mike Terrell, the president of ASA, giving us some calls. But so here we are in the situation. Oof.
I believe that was Lindsay's last arrow there.
So she got a 12, though.
She did. Great experience for her coming in here. She had nothing to lose being in 5th, so she shouldn't hang her head. She should take this as experience and a learning experience and build on it and get ready for next time.
This is Emily McCarthy on her final one. Ooh,
Ooh,
she
did catch a 10.
Okay, good. All right. So let's, as we get this thing sorted out, it's going to be pretty evident on what's going to have to happen here, Darren.
Yeah, with Erin being 16 points behind 3rd, or 14 points behind, so we're going to have a 2-arrow shoot-off between Emily and Sharon. And with a 14 ring in play, anything can happen here with a 2-point difference.
What do you do if you're Emily McCarthy?
Emily, I think I go for the 12. I think if she hits the 12, then Sharon has to hit a 10 to tie her, a 12 to beat her. If she shoots at the 14 and happens to miss it, then Sharon pretty much just has to hit the target to win. So I think you aim a little more confident at that 12. She'll probably try to nail that 12 and force Sharon to hit a bonus ring.
So we should be rolling out a new target.
all right. You gonna set a target or? Okay. I'm gonna bring out the large deer, the XL large deer, and let the ladies have a minute to judge, and then we'll be shooting first will be Emily McCarthy, and then Sharon Wallace going for her 6th Texas buckle.
We just heard him talk about the buckle. What's the buckle?
The buckle is what the city of Paris awards the winner of each of the pro division. It's an actual belt buckle, and it's a beautiful piece of jewelry. Actually, I was fortunate enough to win one a few years ago, and these shooters are shooting for thousands of dollars, and it was great to win thousands of dollars, but actually that belt buckle was more important to me than the money was. So, yeah, it's a beautiful keepsake. It's a trophy, fantastic belt buckle that they give to each winner of each class out here.
Now, Darren, we just saw them trying to select an arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have an arrow that you have built and that is like your shoot down, shoot off arrow?
I take every arrow in my quiver is an arrow that I would shoot. Trust, I've checked it, I've spun it, I've fletched it, I know it hits, I've practiced with it, I've paper tuned it. But if I start the day and it's number 12 and I happen to hit 2 or 3 12s in a row and it keeps working well for me, I want to keep shooting number 12.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone busts it or you break that knock and you change arrow, sometimes that weighs on your mind. Is number 11 going to hit as good as number 12 does? But that's what they're looking for, their favorite arrow that spins nice and something they're confident to shoot in right here.
So Emily McCarthy, shooter on your right, came in here leading the way over Sharon Wallace. Now Wallace leads by 2. We're at the 6th arrow. They have an opportunity now as they rolled out a new target, the XL Deer, to judge. Take a moment. They're going to judge it. They're going to set their sights. And then we're going to have Emily McCarthy will be shooting first.
Mm-hmm. Emily needs to hit a bonus ring here. She really has to force Sharon to do something, because if Emily shoots a 10 or an 8, then all Sharon has to do is match her. If she shoots a 12, then Sharon has to shoot the 10, which when you have to hit one, the ring shrinks a little bit. So big arrow right here for Emily.
Emily McCarthy out of Southwest Wisconsin, shooting obviously, as you can see, for Matthews, former snowboarder.
Yeah.
One thing I like about Emily is she's aggressive. Like when it's time to shoot, she just likes to get on with it.
Yeah.
No hesitation, just goes for it.
And I don't know how much coaching her husband does, but she's married to one of the finest archers in the world, Mr. Dan McCarthy. So if she ever has an issue, I'm sure she has a very a plethora of information to tap into with Dan right there next to her all the time. Big shot right here for Emily. She went for the big one.
She did, just off the 14. Well, that's what you got to go. She was going for the win, not second place.
She was pushing the issue. She went for it. Now all Sharon has to do is hit foam, and she's going to be your champion.
She knows it too.
Yeah, big break for Sharon there. This really made this easier for her.
Townville, South Carolina, 12 years as a pro. Like I mentioned before, 5-time champion of Paris, getting ready. If she can just hit some foam here to be 6-time champ, 6 buckles her way. This is her spot.
I think Mike's trying to talk her into shoot a 14, but I'm pretty sure she's going to stick her pin right in the middle of that 10 ring or right in the middle of that 8 ring and make a good shot and take home this championship.
If she went for the 14, I don't think Jack Wallace, her husband, would let her hear the end of it.
No.
Great shot, a solid 10. And she'll roll out of here, the 2019 Easton Southwest Shootout champion, and another buckle for her, and a good bit of points towards Shooter of the Year, Emily McCarthy, too.
That's fantastic. She's dominant in Texas.
Great job. What a way to come back, Sharon Wallace. When she started this, it was just a 2-point deficit, and when you're in this particular class, 2 points is not a comfortable margin by any stretch of the imagination. And a great job here at Paris High School. She gets congratulations from teammates, from pro staff coordinators. Just a great job for her.
It's interesting how her and her husband Jack traveled this week too. Sharon loves to fly, Jack hates it, so Sharon flew and Jack drove.
It's a good way to do it. Well, let's head down to PJ, who has our winner.
All right, Sharon Wallace, that was quite the ending there. Tell me how you feel. All you had to do was hit foam, but still the nerves must have been going.
Yeah, the adrenaline was going. I know, just hit it, put it on a good number and just hit it. But yeah, the adrenaline was definitely going because I really wanted this one again.
And you are a multi-time winner here at Texas, so does that make this one even sweeter, or do you have high expectations for yourself? What do you do when you come in here?
I just try and judge and just do my game. That's all I can do, and just hope for the best. And this all weekend, and it actually worked out. It was actually a tough course both days. They didn't do anything short. They tested our ability, and I was just able to shoot really good and keep it clean, and here I am.
How about, let's talk about inside here. The lighting is weird. How did that affect your shooting in the shoot down?
It did a little bit because I wear glasses, so these lights up on the ceiling, I was actually getting a glare. So I actually wanted an umbrella, but I thought if I can just get through it, because actually last year I did use an umbrella. But it did a little bit. I'll just hopefully keep it in the 10.
All right, well, congratulations, Sharon, on a great win.
Thank you so much.
Outstanding win for her. We're going to head off to break. On the other side, Tim Gillingham and the senior pro men are going to go after it. Can Gillingham get his second in a row? We'll find out after this.
Get in the red zone. Carbon Express's small diameter Maxima Red SD, taking big game hunting to an all-new level, making other competitors' single spine arrows obsolete. Patented tri-spine technology controls arrow flight, delivering better downrange energy and accuracy, all in a small diameter shaft. Think you're shooting the best hunting arrow in the game? Think again. Stay in the red zone. Assume nothing and shoot Carbon Express.
We don't build these bows to be different. We build them to be better. We're the outsiders, the mavericks, the fearless. We forge our own path. We're not chasing anyone, but we know what they're running from. It's an obsession, and the obsessed never rest.
ASA in Paris, Texas is brought to you by Vortex Optics and Black Eagle Arrows.
All right, welcome back to the 2019 Mackenzie ASA Pro-Am Tour here at the Easton Southwest Shootout as we prepare for our next class.
Good afternoon and welcome to our second shoot-off this afternoon for the Easton Southwest Shootout here in Paris, Texas. It's time for the Senior Pro Division. In his very first pro shoot-down from Milan, Michigan, shooting for Matthews with a 408 and 12 bonus rings, Dominic DeMichael. Also shooting from Matthews from Oklahoma with a 408 and 12 bonus rings, Art Brown. Your third place qualifier shooting for PSC from Keller, Texas, Michael Braden. And shooting for Hoyt from Boswell, Pennsylvania, your second place qualifier, a 414 with 13 bonus rings, Tony Taza. And your number 1 qualifier, shooting for Bowtech, from Provo, Utah, with a 420 and 14 bonus rings, Tim Gillingham.
Well, Tim Gillingham in his second performance here as a senior pro.
The
what are you
guy's
smiling about?
He's just, Tim is such an awesome guy, and he's so passionate about archery. He's so knowledgeable about archery, and I knew he was going to be a force to be reckoned with when he went to the senior pro division, and here he is leading again, and he's a totally different type of aggressive, and he's going to be hard to handle.
Art Brown, if that name rings a bell for some of you shooters at home, ASA, of course, he is the Mackenzie target seller. This archer right here, Dominic D. Michael. And by the way, Chuck Cooley called it right. That's the way he pronounces his name. This is his very first pro Shootdown, 8 years as a pro, and he is pretty excited, as he should be.
Yeah, good for him.
Out of Milan, Michigan. So for D. Michael, he's in the construction business, and he's an avid fisher and hunter. As we have first arrows downrange, Tim Gillingham's on target number 1. And he is going to start off with what looks like a very solid 12 for Tim Gillingham, who came in here.
He's a beast.
Yeah, as you can see with that 6-point lead, he is definitely causing some waves in the senior pro class. And
he wants to build his lead to where they don't have to shoot the 6th and final arrow. I know Tim's mentality, and he's going to try to get there.
Tony Taza shoots a 10. Tony, of course, our champion from last year, and the only one who was on the podium here in Paris, Texas in 2018 to make this shoot down. Taza, of course, our leader in the Shooter of the Year award after our second round at 834 over Michael Braden. Tim Gillingham didn't compete in the first round in this class. So Michael Braden is going to come in with an 8. Art Brown's going to be our next scoring target.
Art's made his fair share of shoot downs. It's good to see him back in there.
He's got 2 Senior Pro Shooter of the Year titles, 7 ASA wins to his career.
That's a good shot.
11 years as a pro. Oklahoma resident. And the first timer, Dominic D. Michael.
He may have got a little bit excited there.
8. You know what, though? I mean, we saw it with Lindsey Christensen as well. I mean, you've got it. Here you are, center stage, probably shooting in a space that you've never shot before. I'm not talking about the building. I'm talking about the amount of people sitting behind you and the crowd, and you know all eyes are on you as well. So got to shake off those nerves.
He's in a lot better position than if he was leading his very first shoot down. It's hard to hang on to those leads when those guys are chasing you.
Michael Braden, your 2017 Senior Pro Shooter of the Year and Classic Champion as well. This guy.
He's a beast too.
Tony Taza. Tony out of Pennsylvania, 19 years as a pro. 2016 ASA Shooter of the Year, 2018 Shooter of the Year. Had 3 wins last year, on his way to Senior Pro Shooter of the Year. And then the new guy to the class.
Mr. Gillingham.
Floor fletching and everything, V-bar.
Oof. He won't be happy with that.
Taza sends it to target number 3 on the Blesbach. So the first target we have, number 1, is the taper. Some people call it the tapier. That's going to be a 10 for Dominic and Michael and Tim Gillingham.
Tim may have opened the door for some guys here.
Tim looking down, making some notes on the turkey. It's going to be a 5. That one will sting. Blesbach is going to be our next target. That's going to be Tony Taza.
He can capture that. Tony can now move back with only within 1 point of our leader.
Yeah, that's going to change that gap quite a bit.
So 10 points.
But it's a 10.
He had an opportunity there to, I mean, you don't know when you're in the middle of shooting as you shoot all at the same time. So it's not like, you know, Tim sent it and then Tony was like, oh, I've got to shoot this score.
Sure.
Go shoot a 14 and next thing you know, but still. It's now closed up to just a few points.
Michael Braden on that long javelina.
Yeah, we need the flashlight too. That's how backlit it is.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of the same picture for the archers. Only one of the things that makes that target so fun to shoot are the markings. Like they at least break up that black with those white markings, and if you have good binos or it's a little bit closer and you can see something, it's kind of a fun target to shoot even though it's small. But with this backlighting here, it's making it really difficult to see it. And if you have glasses like, you know, like Sharon Wallace told us, and you get some glare from these overhead lights, it can make things very difficult.
Yeah, it's just a silhouette they're shooting at. They're aiming at a black pig. Good shot for Art there.
So Art Brown moving to 430.
I'm anxious to see what Tim does here. That 5 surprised him on that turkey. He's now going to the closest target. There's a good look at Tim. He made a good, clean shot, but yeah, he's like, oh man, that's low.
I think he said, oh shoot.
And as aggressive as he is, he's moving to the closest target on the field now. I wouldn't be surprised to see him try to get some of those points back by shooting a 14 right here.
Gillingham middle. Looking right at the top middle of your screen is that Blessbach. That's the closest one. We don't know the exact distance yet, but we know that Tim gets a good sight picture on that one, and he gets a good yardage judge. Yeah, what will he do? Is he going to, you know, because Tim, in these situations, we've seen him go for the 14.
He's a different kind of aggressive than most of these guys are used to seeing out there. So
Dominic DeMichael.
Good strong shot.
Good shot. I didn't see Dominic call the upper, but if he did, but the first one to be scored is going to be Art Brown.
Looks to be just, there's 2 lines there. You can see the core line. That's where that insert slips in from the other side, but he was just below the actual 10 line for an 8.
So opportunity miss for Art. Now we're going to go Dominic DeMichael. And he did call the upper.
He's good for him. I believe that's 2 in a row.
And zero question whether that one was in. Great call, great shot. Now we're moving to our leader, Tim Gillingham, who's given some points back last time we were at the shooting line.
Doesn't look like he went for the 14.
No. And he called the upper 12, and he will get it.
He'll take those 2 bonus points.
Yeah. And from our vantage point, he gave himself a little clap of the hand.
That's a good
Deserves
shot
it.
for Tim.
Now we're moving all the way across the facility to this target. We can see that's nice and snug in the 10. I just think at this distance and the way that this target is backlit, the size of this target, I think anyone who shoots a 10 is a great one.
Oh yeah, 10 points here. That's almost like shooting a 12, really, because we've seen multiple 5s.
To the Howling Wolf. That one looks a little low.
That's for Michael there, is it? Yeah, that's Michael Braden fletching job right there.
Just under it for an 8 for Michael Braden. Let's look at the board now after 3 rounds. Tim Gillingham, 449. Tony Taza, 444. Currently tied at 438 are Art Brown and Dominic DeMichel, and at 431 is Michael Braden. We currently only have 1 shooter within 10 points of our lead, but both Art Brown and Dominic DeMichel are literally 1 12 ring away from joining that group within 10 points. Upper 12s for targets 4, Mr. Gillingham, and target 5 for Mr. Taza, and target 3 for Mr. DeMichel. Upper 12s on 3, 4, and 5.
This is the time when you got to go for it.
Yeah, for sure. Tim's calling up, or he's going to get way up in that 10 ring and make sure he doesn't give anything back. But this is a typical Gillingham target. The longer and tougher they are, he's liable to 12 this thing. See if he can extend his lead.
Clock starts, 1 minute to shoot. Michael Braden settling into his anchor point.
He might go for a 14 here. Being in 5th place and running out of arrows, he did go for it.
And he got it.
Good shot, Mike.
That was on the taper, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was on the taper in position number 1. Art Brown still at full draw. Left part of your screen lets it fly. He was heading towards the turkey. Didn't look happy with that. All arrows done, time to score. First one is the taper. And a solid 14.
Good for him. That gets the crowd going.
Absolutely.
Look what a hole that left in that target.
First mark on that one.
Yep.
Next up on the turkey, Art Brown. Art currently tied with Dominic, has an 8 on the turkey. The dark target at that yardage with that backdrop has got to be fun. Next up with an upper 12 call, Dominic DeMichel on the Blesbach. Dominic currently was tied with Art Brown. A 10 or 12 here will move him into 3rd place alone. And he's got a 12 for Dominic DeMichel. Moves him to 450. 4 points clear of Art, 5 points clear of Tony. Next up, I'm sorry, not Tony, but Michael. For Tim Gillingham, our leader, currently 4 points. 5 points ahead of Tony Taza. For Tim.
That's shocking.
That's
a 5 though.
For Tim Gillingham.
Why is that a 5?
That was low,
Tim
below
has
the 8 line
2
there,
12s
so
and
he
2 5s. One more 5 and he has a full
unfortunately he
house.
was in the body of the target and not any of the scoring rings, so he takes a 5.
Anytime you hit at least foam, it's
And for
a
Tony
minimum 5
Taza
points,
on
right?
the Howling Wolf.
All right.
Tony can stay at 10 here. They're going to be tied going into the final arrow.
A 10 for Tony Taza. And ladies and gentlemen, we now have a first place tie at 454.
So you saw that 6-point
454
lead evaporate for
between
Tim Gillingham.
and Tony Taza, with Tim holding the bonus ring lead at 16 to 13. First place cannot be won by breaking a tie with bonus rings. Has to be by score. Dominic DeMichel is now climbed within 4 points of our leader. Art Brown is within 8 points, and Michael Braden is within 9 points. The entire field is now within 10 points of our leader.
Cannot understate the performance of Dominic DeMichel right now. His first time in a pro shootdown in 8 years of trying. And he is putting himself in a position for a podium. And only 4 points behind.
Yeah, he shook the nerves off when he shot that first high 8 on that Howling Wolf, and I think he may have 10'd the taper. I said he 12'd it earlier, but I think he 10'd it. But I think he shot 2 back-to-back 12s there, and they've really tightened the gap up. This is a race now. It went from a runaway to a race.
Taza. He sent that one. Upper 12. I didn't see Tony call it or hear it. Did you?
I didn't. He's been calling some uppers. I don't know if he did or if Mike acknowledged it. I don't know. He's glassing over to see what's going on with his competition now. Dominic moving around a little bit there. That's a tough target he's shooting at. Good shot.
Good solid 10.
Taper.
He did call it.
Definitely. With a target that close.
12 for Tony Taza.
That's going to have Tim scratching his head.
Absolutely. So Tony's going to take the lead. He should have the lead by 2. Michael Braden's our next scorer.
I'd say he went 14 hunting there. As wide right as that is, it's directly below the 14 ring.
But still catches
Got
the
the 10.
Next up will be Art Brown. on the Blesbach, coming in 446. Oh. Art Brown. Let's hear it from the crowd on that one.
That was pretty.
Great job.
They do him very well, believe that final arrow. That's 6th arrow. For Dominic DeMichel.
Dominic DeMichel now, we go to him, who was in 3rd place. Might be tied for 3rd with Brown. They were tied at 4:08 coming in, both Brown and DeMichel.
A 10 for Dominic DeMichel.
So that's going to be 460 apiece.
And with an upper 12 call by Tim Gillingham.
It's really been back and forth.
A 12 here will make him our leader by bonus ring count going into the final arrow. A 10 here, he'll be in 2nd place behind Tony Tazza. That's a 10 for Tim Gillingham.
Tim called a 10 as we saw that one. So now Taz is going to have a 2-point advantage as Tim's going to go to 446. Tony at 66. And then a couple of 460s with Michael Braden down at a 455.
Tim Gillingham at 464 and 16 bonus rings. At 460 and 14 bonus rings are
so that's going to leave us
4 gentlemen in the final arrow, I believe.
Yeah. And legitimately all with a chance to win it.
Yeah.
You're thinking up scenarios in your head right now, aren't you, Darren?
I am, because Tim's a different kind of reckless and aggressive. Tony's super steady under pressure. Dominique and Art, they've got nothing to lose. They've got to shoot at 14s here to force the other guys to do something, or they got to make a mistake. If they lay up here, they don't have a chance to win. So Art and Dominique are going to go 14 hunting. I'd be shocked if Tim didn't. Depends on where they set it too. This target could be.
No. I thought he was going to drop it right there. Like, it's not too far forward.
Yeah, the 14's marked up good there. They're going to be able to see that in their scopes. You can see those 3 arrow holes surrounding that 14 up there. So they're going to have a good reference. But I know Art and Dominic will shoot 14s. Not sure what Tim will do, but I'm pretty sure he's aggressive enough. He's going to go for it too and force Tony to do something.
All right, if you're just joining us, this is the 2019 Easton Southwest Shootout here in Paris, Texas at Paris High School. And we are watching the senior pro class as we have 4 shooters for the 6th and final arrow, with Tony Tazza leading by 2 points over Tim Gillingham, which was a reverse of fates as Gillingham came into this shoot down 6 points ahead. And you have a tie between Art Brown and Dominic DeMichel at 460 apiece. It's anyone's guess on what strategy they're going to go for. For first-time shoot-down competitor Dominic DeMichel, is it enough for him just to be here, to stand on the podium in his first go at it? Is he going to get aggressive and just go for the win? It's so hard to do. We don't know about him because in 8 years of being a pro, this is his first go at it.
I don't know where they're at on bonus rings between Art and Dominique, so that's going to dictate who's going to shoot first here. So if Dominique gets to see what Art does, then he's going to know what to shoot for. Because if it was me, my first shoot down coming in 5th, I would be ecstatic to take a podium finish, and 3rd place would be just fine. So if he has to match Art here, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
So, and it looks like it's going to be Dominic DeMichel who's going to take the first shot. And I can tell this because he's got his bonus hand and he's making an adjustment on his sight right now after judging this target. No rangefinders allowed in this class. You got to look down range. When you have those nice, we're in a 50-yard practice facility, high school football facility. And some people thought, well, you have lines and you might be able to judge it, but ASA's purposely put this at an angle to try to throw some of these shooters off.
I'm guessing, I don't know, but knowing what I thought that javelina was, and that deer looks to be about 6 steps in front of that javelina, they're going to be shooting this deer in the low 40s, I'm going to guess.
Okay.
And those rings are small at that distance, so I don't anticipate this. This may not go past this arrow right here with the point spreads the way they are.
All right, the pride of Milan, Michigan, Dominic DeMichel. Gonna send an arrow downrange to break this 3rd place tie, but will it be enough? Here we go. What a long hold.
He may have called that. Did he call that up at 12?
He certainly did.
He did.
Wow. So
Now,
Dominic DeMichael putting the pressure on Art Brown.
Art has to hit a bonus ring to tie him now.
I think Art is glassing the score. Here's the deal. If Art shoots a 12, they're still tied. 14 to take third. Anything below a 12, and it's fourth place.
Oh, so they're still tied even on bonus rings? Is that what Mike said?
I believe so.
In fact, at first place, no 12-point bonus breaker. We just keep shooting.
Yeah, so we were trying to listen to what was being said. If they're tied on bonus rate, or no, I think Art's in.
First place can't be broken by bonus rings. If they're tied across, they would shoot closest, one arrow closest to center to see who would take third place, depending on what Tim and Tony do. So this is interesting. 12 to tie for a chance to shoot off for third, or 14 to take third outright.
No human being in this shoot down knows these targets better than this guy right here. He knows where to aim. He knows where to shoot. Can he do it?
He went for it.
He went for it, and just a bit outside.
That's actually a pretty good effort at that distance.
Mm-hmm. The crowd applauding the effort of both archers, Art Brown and Dominic DeMichael. As third place will be decided in his first time in a pro shoot down. Dominic DeMichael will be your third place finisher.
He's got to be ecstatic about that, moving from fifth to third, his first shoot down, getting on the podium. Good for him.
Now,
I don't think Tim's made his mind up what he's going to do yet. I really don't. He was just beside himself as he was walking into that box. He's really looking here to make sure his number's right. But I honestly don't believe he knows if he's going to go for the gusto or if he's going to try to hit a 12 here and force Tony to tie him with a bonus ring or to beat him with a bonus ring. So what happens if Tim shoots a 5? He has a 469. He would fall to third place.
Mm-hmm.
So he's guarding against dropping to third place. He needs an 8 to tie. He would have Dominique beat on bonus rings, though.
When have you ever seen Tim Gillingham play it safe, though?
Never. Never.
We'll start your 1 minute now.
1 minute clock has started. Light goes on.
He got a pretty determined look on his face.
I think he's going for the 14. He sends it, and he got it! Never play it safe, Gillingham.
He's a different kind of aggressive.
That's exactly the way he likes it. Exactly.
He is a different kind of aggressive. Tony has to shoot a 12 to tie him now. 14 to beat him, 12 to tie him.
Wow.
Nice shot, Mr. Gillingham. Welcome back.
He's wiping the sweat off his brow.
That is a sigh of relief.
He's got to do a big fist pump here.
Yeah, there you go. That's classic Tim.
That's a mountain of a man right there.
He's not even 50 years old yet, by the way.
He has. Oh, he's not, is he?
No.
Yeah.
I think he doesn't turn 50 till June, but the rule in ASA is the year you turn. All right, but here's Taza.
Big arrow for Tony.
A 12.
Oh,
he went for the 14. Oh, I think
he's got it. I think he got it.
What a shot. Shocks the crowd, and he gets it. Tony Taza with a come-from-behind victory. Doesn't settle for second or a tie. Goes for it, drills the 14, and takes home another title, his second in a row.
Wow.
Actually, third in a row. He won it in 17, 18, and now in 2019. So 3 in a row for Tony Taza.
That gives me
shooting.
goosebumps.
Me
That's
too.
a good show right there.
Yep. Even the crowd was shocked. Shocked.
Good look at Tony right there, focusing good, nice strong shot. He's waiting for a reaction. Is it in?
You got a little grin.
Yeah,
a little bit
grin.
of a grin.
And then when it's official, they throw that scorecard up. He gave a big fist pump. Good for Tony.
Something else.
Tony Tazza, what do we say about that? That's the way to end one.
I don't know what to say about that. I knew what I had to do. I mean, I did it at the last one, but that was for second. The pressure was on. I mean, the heat was up. But, I mean, that bow shoots so good. I mean, I just put it in the vicinity, and it smokes it. So, yeah, real happy. I want to say hi to my wife. She's always watching these things. I love you, babe.
Was there ever any doubt in your mind that you were going to go for 14 on that?
No, not on the last shot. I mean, I won it on the course. I mean, Tim had trouble on some of them long ones. My numbers were dead on, and I couldn't hit the 12s, but I was staying in the 10. So just stayed out of trouble and gave myself an opportunity and won it on the last one. So,
well, Tony, congratulations. That was a great thing just to be a part of.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
From one gunslinger to another, great job, Tony Taz. Let's go to break. When we come back, it's going to be the Open Pro class as we see Dan McCarthy square up against Levi Morgan and more. Stay tuned. Bright skies, muddy footing, and tight lanes define the story of Paris, Texas, leaving 5 pro archers in each class to fight it out for the title of Easton Southwest Shootout.
Vince Lombardi once said, "Winning is not a sometime thing. It's an all-time thing. You don't do things right once in a while. You do them right all the time." Winning is a habit. Unfortunately, so is losing. I've learned in my career I'm only as good as the tools I use.
12 for Levi Morgan.
One chance, one moment, one shot.
Get in the red zone. Carbon Express's small diameter Maxima Red SD, taking big game hunting to an all-new level, making other competitors' single spine arrows obsolete. Patented tri-spine technology controls arrow flight, delivering better downrange energy and accuracy, all in a small diameter shaft. Think you're shooting the best hunting arrow in the game? Think again. Stay in the red zone. Assume nothing and shoot Carbon Express.
ASA in Paris, Texas is brought to you by Last Chance Archery. and gas bowstrings.
Welcome back to the 2019 Mackenzie ASA Pro-Am Tour. It's the Easton Southwest Shootout here in Paris, Texas. As we prepare for our next class, which is Open Pro, the Senior Pro still enjoying the podium as Tony Tazza, the gunslinger, going for it. Of course, the voice you heard was not him, like his voice cracking. He's actually had voice therapy, lost his voice several months ago, and still trying to get it back. But what a performance from Tony. Outstanding job. And I'm sure Tim did everything he could at that, that stage of the game.
Yeah.
He shot the 14, he put the pressure on. And just a pressure-filled, outstanding win for Tony Tazza.
Yeah. Tim did everything he could do. He made a couple mistakes out there and shot some 5s, and that was the difference. But, man, that's a great way to see that finish out.
Let's go to Chuck Cooley.
After a shoot-off like that, how do we even get going for the Open Pros? Welcome to the third shoot-off for this afternoon. We are here at the ASA Paris, Texas, and our 5th place qualifier with a 417 and 14 bonus rings from Van Buren, Arkansas, Chris Hacker. Your 4th place qualifier with a 418 and 14 bonus rings, shooting for Matthews from Brownstown, Indiana, Chris Cooper. From Enterprise, Alabama, shooting for PSE, a 422 with 12 bonus rings, Justin Martin. Shooting for Matthews with a 422 and 14 bonus rings, from Uniontown, Pennsylvania, Levi Morgan. And also shooting for Matthews from Wisconsin, your leader with a 424 and 13 bonus rings, Dan McCarthy.
All right, Darren Christianberry, our mover in this one has to be Chris Cooper, who is our 4th place qualifier coming into this one. He was 4 up yesterday and shot 14 up today.
On a stout range.
On a stout range. There were a couple shooters that shot a couple extra, but didn't make it into the final 5. So Chris Cooper right now on a roll.
Yeah, second day for the pro classes. We're up out there shooting at 7:30 a.m. So you get in a deep, dense woods. Those targets are dark. They're hard to judge. So for a guy to shoot double digits up, that's an impressive round.
All right, so Cooper has had multiple shoot-down appearances in his career. He also does really well in the limb savers, which is an additional shoot that you can do. Had plenty of podium finishes in the limb savers over the years.
Good look at Chris holding steady right there. Good, strong shot.
Justin Martin. His 9th shoot down. There's the man, Dan. All right, so the first scoring is going to be Dan. That'll be on the taper.
Everybody getting calibrated with that first arrow.
What does that mean?
That means making sure their numbers are right. They, Dan shot a little above that when he might be overjudging things.
Very interesting conversation I had with Dan McCarthy about his performance on this weekend versus the last time that we shot. It was a struggle for him this go around in terms of the decisions that he was making. And, I think that when you look at his performance in terms of score, 24 up, 2 ahead of Levi Morgan coming in here, the satisfaction level versus he was making really good decisions the last time we shot Fort Benning and was able to walk away with that one is just, it's totally different. And this can be archery, right? 5 weeks removed, and it's just a totally different game.
Yeah, and it's your game plan can change depending on the course, depending on the weather, depending on the lighting. Do you aim at lowers, do you aim at uppers, do you add, do you cut? There's just a lot of variables to put a good solid score together.
Justin Martin in with a 10.
Puts him in the second place now. We have Levi Morgan with 2 points. And still with 2 points behind our leader, Dan McCarthy.
No big movers yet.
Not yet.
Also had 10 points from our leader.
So we'll move to the long target. That's what Cooper started
was
off with,
Cooper.
and I think he pulled that 10 line.
It looks like a 10.
They
Yep.
gave it to him.
That's just like shooting a 12 when you can 10 that long javelina.
No question about it. And then our 5th scoring arrow will be Chris Hacker.
I'd say he overjudged that one by just about 2 yards.
Hacker, of course, was 2nd at the ASA Classic 2018. Multiple shoot-down appearances in his shooting career.
No change in that first arrow.
No. And there's 12-time Shooter of the Year, 12-time consecutive Shooter of the Year, Levi Morgan, which might be a little monkey wrench in this one this year.
Yeah, he's getting a good contest from Mr. McCarthy, and then Jeff Hopkins. This is the first shoot down he's missed this year, so Jeff had to be up there for Shooter of the Year as well. But
Certainly, yeah.
Dan's shown out strong at the first 3 events. Well, this being the 3rd, but he's really shot well.
Dan McCarthy coming in as Shooter of the Year with an 8.52, Hopkins 8.34, Jack Wallace at an 8.27, and this shooter right here, Levi Morgan, in 4th place at an 8.24.
Levi aims so good.
Levi, of course, on the closest target we have out on the field of play. So that was Dan McCarthy, who sent down a 10 on the turkey.
Hacker went 14 hunting.
He got it. So 14 as Chris Hacker getting aggressive early on.
I shot with Chris today, and he shot strong. He had to 12 these last target to get in, and it was like a 42 or 3 yard black boar, and he let down twice on the 3rd go. He 12'd it, and here he is.
Dan McCarthy with a solid 10. So for Chris Hacker, day 1, he shot up 10, and then he went up 7 to come in here. 17 plus 17.
Mr. Levi Morgan.
Levi Morgan. I don't think there's any question about this arrow call.
He's got a 12.
That's a solid 12.
Moving him back within 2 points of our leader.
It's never a gimme, but it's something you would expect him to go for.
Yeah.
Possibly the 14. It just kind of depends on Levi's strategy.
Yeah, it's too tight. Now Dan, on the other hand, with a little bit of a lead, as good as he judges, as confident as he is, he may try to 14 that Blesbach.
So Darren, as we look at 10.
10 for Kristen Martin.
That was put up by Martin on that one.
With Levi Morgan at 442.
Talking about Levi Morgan. A lot of rumors going around, as you know, small community here in archery. A lot of rumors going around about Levi Morgan because there are 2 3D archery tournaments scheduled at the same time. One, an ASA, and then another one on top of that.
A solid 10 for Chris.
10 for Cooper.
Our rotation, gentlemen.
Now, there were rumors about what Levi was going to do, blah, 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 blah. So I just went and asked him. And Levi said he is going to miss that ASA event to go to the other event.
Let me know when you're ready.
And he said even if it costs him Shooter of the Year, which would be 13 consecutive Shooter of the Year.
Yeah.
If you don't think that Levi is putting a lot of pressure on himself to score as many points as he possibly can, you do this year. With 6 events, you'll only drop 1.
Right.
So basically, with that 1 drop, he's giving it away. And we know he hasn't had a real strong start to the season. So if Levi could win this one, he's going to get himself a whole heap of points towards that Shooter of the Year. And it's in the back of his mind on the daily.
It's a tough decision for guys to make, picking IBO ASA, because you're missing 20 grand if you win the tournament. If you give up Shooter of the Year in the IBO, or if you give up Shooter of the Year in the ASA, it's another $20,000 bonus. So it could be $60,000 or $80,000 these guys are talking about. Good look at Justin Martin there. Nice strong shot. He's been working hard, and it's showing.
Looked like Cooper though threw a 14 down there on the taper.
Cooper ain't scared.
Cooper is not scared. There it is. Oh,
I believe he's got it.
I looks like he's got it from the way it's been called, but it's always a different look on that white.
14.
There you go. Pulled that line.
You can breathe, Chris. You can breathe now.
Mike Durrell said you can breathe now. That's pretty funny.
Okay, next up for Chris Hacker.
All right, so Hacker in with a 10 on the turkey.
Hacker's shooting good.
The turkey looks like it's the second farthest target away, huh? Oh, and he got a 12. Sorry, that's my fault.
Mr. Hacker's making a move.
I thought it was a little bit too far on the left, so another couple of points.
Those bonus rings can add up in a hurry.
Field is starting to bunch.
I can't see with the glare. I'm pretty sure that's a dozen.
A little glare on our monitor here.
12 for Dan McCarthy.
Matches Levi's
Bonuses
12.
all around. Next for Levi Morgan and the Javelina. A bonus 12 here would be quite remarkable. That target has been elusive.
Off to the Javelina.
Today.
So Levi got through that long bomb. It doesn't look like too bad of a shot. Well, it looks like a fantastic shot.
Doesn't look too bad. I mean, he could have just moved it 2 or 3 millimeters up towards the middle.
Well,
wow.
Levi Morgan on that.
Inside out, 12 for Levi.
That's like shooting a 14 right there, 12 in that little
Justin
booger.
Martin on the
Imagine if someone went for the 14 on that target at this distance.
It's tiny.
This will be Justin Martin with a 10.
10 for Justin Martin. All right, let's look at the numbers now, folks. We have Dan McCarthy.
So as we have the scores being updated, you can see Dan McCarthy still leads. Levi 2 ahead of Martin, tied with Cooper, and Hacker only 1 back. How tight do you like it in this one?
It's a race.
Anyone within striking distance. Any bobble on this one, and next thing you know, you're in 5th spot.
First through 5th is a 5-point spread, so barring any big moves here, everybody's going to shoot that final arrow as it stands right now. I know we got a long way to go, but it's a tight race. Levi looks pretty focused.
Levi on the Howling Wolf.
The more people talk about Levi, the tougher he gets. They start talking about him, oh, he's done, oh, he's not going to win, oh, he can't win Shooter of the Year, and then he shoots 50 up. He's a strong competitor.
That's Levi's target. Looks like he drifted out just to the right.
Oh, my. Dan McCarthy, everybody.
Putting the pressure on. And that's, by the way, I think we can mention it now, that's about 48 yards downrange.
I think it is. I looked at it earlier. I don't know what it ranged, but it's a poke.
Yep. I got word beforehand.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's 48 yards downrange. That's 2 yards shy of the max distance in this class.
First up for Justin Martin.
He's going to get him a bonus
Looking
ring.
for a 12 on the taper.
There it is.
He's got a 12 on the taper. Justin Martin.
This is good.
It's like you've done this before, Darren.
This is a good race.
Next up for Chris Cooper. On the turkey, we have everybody tightly bunched within 5 points.
Oh, that was a 14 shot right there. Is that Coop going for 2 in a row?
No, certainly not.
Oh,
for Chris Cooper.
Just low.
Is that not in it?
It was just low. It looked like it was just
what a
low.
good effort there, Coop.
I love how aggressive he's getting with this. Why not?
A 10 for Chris Cooper.
That should have been.
I think that was
Hacker. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that would have been Hacker.
He got it.
Now for our leader, Dan McCarthy. On the Javelina.
What an answer by Dan right here. Levi 12 that long thing just to feel like he gained a point right there on Dan, and Dan's like, you know what? Watch this.
First place and win the women's division. Levi Morgan just took a 12 on it. And for Dan McCarthy, a 12 for Dan McCarthy.
Yeah, we saw that one.
It's crazy. Levi may come down here and 14 this taper.
That wolf is howling, but unfortunately it's not howling at 12 for Levi Morgan. At least I don't think so. I have been wrong before and will be again, but in this one, it's a 10.
10 for Levi Morgan moves him to 464. So now let's move forward now. Dan McCarthy, 468. 4 points ahead of Levi Morgan and Justin Martin at 464. Chris Hacker now at 461. And Chris Cooper at 460. Everyone still within 10 points of our leader going into our 5th arrow.
Justin Martin. Just you know, when I talked to him before, I said, you know, what's the goal? And he said, look, it's been a while since I've been back, and I don't do this for a living. I don't need this. So the first thing is just getting here. And he said, and then maybe I'll make another one and go for a podium.
Yeah.
I think he was maybe slow playing me a little bit.
Yeah, he knows what's going on out here.
Oh, no doubt. Because right now, Martin has put himself in a position not only for a podium appearance.
Chance to win it.
But a chance to win it.
Got this 5th arrow here, and then he's probably going to be in range to shoot the 6th and final. Anything can happen. Good look at Levi there. Just curious to see what he does. I don't know if he'll shoot at that 14. It's marked up awful well. See his thumb getting a little bit nervous there at that trigger. He went for it.
Ooh, that is so close.
He went for it. He's not here for second.
No way. If Levi Morgan snags that 14, just wait for it. This crowd's going to erupt.
We need a good camera angle here.
Oh, that is a close
Man,
one.
that's close.
Doesn't look pulled to me.
Can't see. That's. Ooh, I don't know if that ridge got it. He
got it. Levi Morgan, fist pumping all around.
He needed that. Big long draw length, big poundage. You can shoot those big fat arrows.
You sure can. Uniontown, Pennsylvania, Levi Morgan. Now, what did Dan McCarthy do?
He's wearing on Dan McCarthy this entire time, knowing that he's going to come to that last target, and that taper sitting with a 14 for Levi. Oh.
Good commentary there by Mike.
Okay, here we go for Chris Cooper on the Blesbach.
Surprised Coop didn't 14 that.
12 for
Yeah,
Chris
me too.
Cooper.
But he got
a
to 12. That's bonus
Yep.
points.
Handing out bonus rings now. He's up to 472.
The way we look at it,
Behind
10 ring
Justin
is
Moore.
pretty
Par.
standard. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
par, I guess you could say. And
Chris Hacker on the Javelina.
definitely a 12 rings a birdie, and a 14 is an eagle.
I think Bill's looking a little tired, don't you, Mr. Hatton? A 10. Still a good shot.
Good 10 for Hacker on that Javelina. See what McCarthy did here. See if we're going to be tied going into the final or if he takes a 2-point lead with a dozen. Center 10.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to go 478 across the top. Martin's going to have a 474. Cooper at a 2, and Hacker at a 1. Here's Levi's reaction after that 14 was called.
Waiting on that
Hey, Levi,
call.
it's a 14. I tried.
He was excited. He was excited right there.
So within, let's see.
Everybody's in.
Yep.
7-point spread from top to bottom.
It's what the picture you just saw of everybody shaking hands is very typical of archery, isn't it?
It is. It's a big family out here. You know, you're obviously each guy out there wants to win, and they're, you know, selfishly wanting to help their bank accounts. I get it, but no one's out there going, man, I hope this guy chokes and shoots one in the face. You just don't really see that out here.
Mm-mm. All right, so now they get a pack of arrows back.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one arrow. They're moving out the deer. Take old Billy. Billy.
Billy Baru.
Billy Baru. He's got to be one. Like you're saying. I mean, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You've said it before. You fletch all dozen of them. You shoot all of them that you bring here. You know they're good shooters. But there's got to be something said by an arrow that just keeps pounding.
Yeah, if it keeps pounding and keeps doing what you want it to do, you want to. If you're superstitious, you know, you want to keep rolling with it.
All right, so here we are. It's the Open Pro or the Men's Pro, kind of the same, same thing, just said two different ways. We're in our 6th and final arrow. They brought out the 6th target. And you can see how close these scores are.
I would think we'll see some 14 shot at right here.
I know it's difficult, but from where you're standing to where we know they dropped that 6th target, that XL deer, what do you think?
40.
40.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very makeable 14 shot.
I think it's just inside of where the ladies shot it, and they were, like I said, if the javelina was 48, it was about 6 steps in or so for them, so it puts it at 42. I mean, they're going to be right there around that 40-yard mark, I'd say, which is really not a tough shot for these guys.
And a very reasonably sized 14 ring. They're
For
not
sure.
all the same size, are they?
And very good markings. It's not like they're aiming at a big brown blob out there. There's some really good arrow holes, as you can see in that little that inset picture there. There's good arrow holes to aim at for these guys, so they'll have no doubt where to put their pin. And if they've got the number right and make the right shot, they're going to be happy with their score. Hacker's got to shoot a 14. If he shoots a 12, he's at 83. That means Justin just has to shoot a 10 to beat him. So Hacker's got to shoot a bonus ring here, and it has to be the 14 to make the move.
And we should be shooting in the order you see the left part of your screen. It should be Hacker, then Cooper, then Martin. I'm going to guess it's going to be Levi, and then McCarthy.
Those two will depend on their bonus rings, who will shoot first. But I think Hack goes for a 14 here, and then Coop's probably going to have to answer.
Amy.
He went at it.
Rihanna, he went for it. That's just south of it.
He needed one more yard.
When you say he needed one more yard.
Yeah, if he judged it for 40, and that's what he shot it for, and he hit just a little bit low, if he'd have shot it for 41, it would have risen enough to catch that 14. So he was 1 yard short.
Good effort by Chris Hacker.
Now, Coop can go for a 12 here, because if he hits a 12, then Justin has to shoot a 10 at a time, and they could shoot off for third. Or he can shoot for the 14 and make Justin decide what he wants to do. I think he goes for it.
His travel partners in attendance. Benny, Barger, Brian Jones, Brian Allen, all cheering for him.
Blue, Brian Llewellyn in the crowd.
Llewellyn, sorry. Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's see what
he
Coop
wrote it
does.
down. He can barely spell.
I want to see him 14 this thing. Okay.
He has 1 minute to shoot.
Deep breath, reset.
We don't see it very often in shoot downs, but it's an option.
Yeah, his pin was obviously moving more than he was comfortable with, so he's going to reset here and try to get a good steady sight picture.
Good lesson for you young archers.
Execute a strong shot. Moving a little there.
Ooh.
It's going to be left, it looks like.
Yeah,
he had the number.
Yeah, definitely a good judging on the yardage. He's going to go off with a 5. So
good weekend for Coop, though.
Very good weekend for Coop. That's going to drop him down to 5th spot. Well, at the moment, he's in 3rd place, but Martin really has just got to hit anything in the foam.
This is where Justin needs to know how many bonus rings Chris Hacker has, because if Justin shoots at the 14 and happens to 5 it, he could still take 3rd with bonus rings. So if he knows where he's at, knows what the score is, it'll make his decision on what he wants to shoot here. But if he wants to win, he's going to have to try to shoot that 14.
Enterprise, Alabama, 19 years as a pro, going for a podium.
He got at least a 10.
All right, so he gets a 10. I didn't see him call upper. So it's a 10.
Yep.
That's going to move him to 84. So for the moment, he'll take over the lead.
Barring 5s by Levi or Danny, he'll stay in 3rd.
So a good podium.
For sure.
What a
big smile on his face there. He's happy with this weekend, and he should be.
No expectations coming in here.
He's been working hard on his shooting. He's not shooting full time now. He's working hard, and he's making this fun again. And he's been working hard, and it's paying off, and it's showing.
It's been a while, but he is back.
Mr. McCarthy's next. So Levi had the most bonus rings, so he's going last.
Just what he wants, right?
Yeah.
Mike said to Dan, "You got it?" Dan just shrugged his shoulders. I don't know. We'll see. Here we go.
He went for a 12.
God, he didn't get it.
Got a 10.
Well, last year's winner, Dan McCarthy, here in Texas, going for it.
Bonus ring for Levi.
10. That'll take us to 88.
If Levi shoots a 10, we'll keep shooting.
You know he's going for the 12.
Oh, he's going to bury in it. He's probably going to aim safe side to make bar against shooting 8 and giving it away. He's going to put a good number, top of the 12 there, make a good strong shot. You don't want to give McCarthy very many chances, so Levi's probably going to try to seal it right here.
Levi, with his appearance in the shoot-down, already erasing a slow start to the season, trying to put a stamp on this one in round 3 of the 2019 Mackenzie ASA Pro-Am Tour. Did he call upper?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, the crowd doesn't.
Nobody cheered.
He definitely doesn't look like he called upper. Yeah, he didn't. So maybe a little bit hot on the judging.
Yeah.
All right, we have overtime.
Overtime. So Justin Martin will take third. That's official.
Mm-hmm. So it's going to be third for Martin. Hacker's going to walk away with fourth. Coop going to be in 5th spot. Still have to decide which one of these Matthews shooters is going to get the buckle.
If they tie again, I believe they'll start alternating shots.
So now what's the solution? All right, so they have to have a clear winner by score.
He'll have his choice of shooting first or second in the first round. He's elected to go second. Dan will shoot first. If they're still tied after that arrow, they'll rotate. Dan will shoot second, Levi will shoot first, and they'll rotate back and forth until we have a clear winner.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so they're moving them up. They're going to put them on a different spot. Targets stay the same. They're going to shoot the turkey.
Ooh.
They're going to shoot the turkey from the left side hash mark in this half of a football field. Here at Paris High School. Go Cougars.
These guys have already shot this target, so they have a really good idea what it was from the original position. Just because they walked them up 5 steps, they could do some pretty quick math and get really close, you know. So, but these guys are good enough at judging. They're going to look down there and pick their number, and both of them are going to be within a yard, no doubt.
Yeah, because it's a little bit of a different angle.
It is.
The other thing I really like about this particular target is that with the coloration of the target, having that dark body, there's no big marks.
Right.
You've got to really find where the ring is.
Yeah.
And of course, these two shooters shoot it enough. They know where to hit, but this is not the easiest target that Mackenzie makes by any stretch of the imagination.
No, not a lot of room for error above or below. If you're shooting below the lower 12, there's not a lot of room to stay in the 8 ring, and same as going at the upper. So,
and the other thing I'll say is you can see our angle of shot, and right behind it is like a blue. It would actually pad the wall if you were playing football. And when they were at the stake or in the box shooting, the target was actually, the backdrop was that blue. So now you've shifted them around and given them a little bit more backlighting. I think that's also made it just a little bit more difficult.
yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to see any detail in their scope. They're silhouetting, aiming off of those white marks there, the height of the tail, anything they can use for a reference.
All tied up.
See if Dan wants to try to 12 it and give Levi a chance, or if he wants to go for the 14 and stick the dagger in. So steady. Dan's a great shooter.
Right in the middle.
Went for the 12.
He could have caught the 12. Might have pulled the line. I mean, to me,
I think it's just wide.
Yeah, I think so. If you're breaking that middle ring, not used for scoring in ASA competition.
They gave it a good look. Don got down and dirty on it.
He did. All right, so Don gives us the signal. That's going to be a 10. There's Levi's chance. He's got a second chance to bring home the gold.
Good look right there from that angle. You could see they're just a black blob. You know,
Mhm.
you can see the white paint on the wings, but, you know, they're really just silhouetting this thing, finding a place where they think that 12 is, because I don't believe you can see the humps, the detail, the shiny spots in the target. We can see it there in that picture, but from where they're standing, I think they just have a black silhouette of a turkey.
A 12 or a 14 for the win for Levi Morgan. He sends it. Oh, looks like it's in the
Center 10.
middle. And we continue.
So now Levi will have to shoot first.
Oh, is that the way it works? So
I
he
think
chose?
So. Yeah, he chose to shoot second. So the next target, I believe Levi will go first.
I just think that you're absolutely right that it was just a big blob and there was no real solid indicator of where to aim it.
They get a bonus, right? You guys are up to about 5 hours at this pace. Yeah. Cam, you want to go to a commercial? No, we're happy. We're right here. We're on this. Keep shooting. Why don't you just walk them up there to the taper and say,
They looked over at our table and were like, we're going to take a commercial break? Because
Nope.
Dan said, let's go for a TV timeout. No, let's keep shooting.
Oh, we're going.
This action's too good.
We need a winner.
We definitely need a winner because we have something very exciting on the other side of this match. But these two giants in the men's pro class, this open pro class, I mean, you are looking at a battle of the titans. Dan McCarthy, of course, led the way in Shooter of the Year last year and let it slip through his fingers towards the end of the year because this guy just lit the world on fire.
Yeah.
And McCarthy knows he's got to lead this year with Levi in fourth. Levi trying to claw his way back into contention, even though we know which round Levi will drop as his lowest scoring one because he's not going to be in attendance. Very rare for Levi to do that.
If someone were to ask you who the two best unknown 3D archers in the world would be, it'd be hard to argue that these two guys right here out in front of us.
All right, hash mark taper.
Two of the best in the world at what they do.
Levi gently getting to his release. Sends it. Oh, he went for the 14. Oh, wow. That is just high.
That's going to make Dan's job really easy right now.
And Levi with a shake of the head. Oh, and the grimace on his face, you can see the disappointment.
Yeah.
5 for Levi Morgan.
He handled it well, but he's just tore up inside right now. I know he is.
Situation's easy. If Dan hits anything on the foam, we're going to another arrow.
Yeah.
If he scores anything, an 8, a 10, he's got to play it safe.
He wants to win, but he doesn't want to win it like that. Maybe he does. Maybe he does want to win like that. This made it
listen,
easy.
You know, it was Levi's risk.
Yep.
It was Levi's risk to take to try to put pressure on Dan.
Well, he knew what Dan was going to do. You know, at this distance, Danny's going to shoot that 14. He's not going to now, I doubt. He'll probably 12 it.
There it is. Good solid shot. A 10 or a 12. It looks like a 12, but that's going to be it for Dan McCarthy, who's going to take home the victory in his long 17-hour drive home in the Prius. And a 12 it is for the official score. And another couple points over his competitors in his bid for Shooter of the Year. As we hit the halfway point of our season for our 3 classes that have already shot, Women's Pro, Senior Pro, and Open Pro. So congratulations all around. And he is just on fire right now.
He's got it going on. He knows how far they are, and the guy can shoot as good as anybody.
Cannot wait to hear from Dan about pressure he was under, the decisions that he was making, because it was something to behold. 2 of the sport's largest going head-to-head for that championship. As Dan is on his way over to see PJ right now. So let's go ahead and get to PJ with our winner.
Dan McCarthy, that was a heck of a finish there. Tell me how you feel about that.
You know, honestly, I'm super happy to win. I've been in that situation a bunch of times, and that's a really bad draw. And I mean, I got more respect for Levi out here than anybody, and honestly, emotionally, like I'm almost heartbroken over it because I've been there and I've lost to him that way. And it's just when it comes down to luck, a draw like that, and you have to go for a 14 in that situation. And I've missed it before, and I think I shot with him today. He shot great. I know how bad he wants a win. I want to win too, but it's just, I don't know. I'm happy, but I tore up for friends too. I watched my wife lose, so I don't know. A little emotional. I think it'll sink in. I'll be really happy over it, but lots of emotion, and most of it's empathy.
Keeps your Shooter of the Year standing going with your great qualification score this weekend. Tell me how you're feeling about that.
I'm happy about that. I've been working hard at this. I'd like to win that, and it's obviously on your mind, but it's not like part of your strategy. It's just keeps you motivated to get out there and work at it and keep it going. I've had Levi snatch it out from underneath me last year, and I can't say he snatched out from underneath me. He took it. It's not like it was mine to get or anything. I don't want it to sound bad, but I've lost several close calls, and I would really like to win that one. So I mean, that's top of my list. Any win I get along the way will be a major bonus, but that's what I'm going for.
Well, Dan, congratulations, and from the spectator standpoint, it was thrilling to watch, no matter how it ended.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, PJ. Thank you.
Well, Darren, I mean, how do you really explain it more than the emotion that he has for his competitor losing because he's been there? Really defines a lot of what archery is about.
Oh yeah, I said it earlier when they shot the arrows. Dan doesn't want to win that way, but he'll take the win. He's happy, but he feels bad for Levi.
Well, Dan McCarthy takes the win in the Open Pro class. A well-deserved win for him as well. We'll take a break. On the other side, you don't want to go anywhere because we have something special coming at you in the known pro class, something that you haven't seen before in ASA competition.
The ASA Archery Tour is brought to you by True Ball Archery, Axel Sights and Scopes, by Shrewd Archery, by Matthews Bows, and PSE Archery.
The 2019 Mackenzie ASA Pro-Am Tour continuing here at the Easton Southwest Shootout in Paris, Texas. Let's go to Chuck Cooley.
They say everything's bigger in Texas, and this afternoon has been no exception. What an amazing round of shoot-offs, and we are at our last one of the afternoon, the known pros in our 5th place qualifying position, shooting for elite. From Florida, shooting a 440 with 22 X's, Jacob Marlowe. Shooting for PSE from Friendship, Wisconsin, a 440 with 22 bonus rings, Lewis Holmes III. From Denmark, shooting a 440 with 24 bonus rings, shooting for PSE, Stefan Hansen. Your 2nd place qualifier, shooting for Hoyt from Wingo, Kentucky, a 444 with 24 bonus rings, Donnie Thacker. And your number 1 qualifier this weekend in the known pro division, shooting for Hoyt from Paducah, Kentucky, a 444 with 26 bonus rings, Brady Hempen.
Okay, bear with us for a minute. We're going to try something in this shoot down we've never tried before. We're doing this for a couple reasons, one of which is to see how this works out, how the shooters feel about it. This particular class, the gentleman is not worried about the yardages per se, so making shooting decisions for them is a little bit different for some of the other classes. Brady, you're our leader. What's going to happen is you're going to shoot first. The clock's set for 40 seconds. As soon as your arrow flies, it resets for 40 seconds. You're on the clock. Once your arrow flies, resets for 40 seconds, you're on the clock. This allows us to focus on each individual shooter as they go through their process. If you want the upper 12, you can indicate it before I start the round, or when the clock comes to you, at that time you can decide also. Everybody got that? You guys good? All right, Brady, you're on the clock. We'll start your 40 seconds now.
All right, so this is what we were talking about, something brand new. Individual shoots in this shoot down. 18-year-old Brady Hempen in his first as a pro, his rookie season, and he lets it fly and he drops it a little low. But as soon as his arrow impacts, the clock starts for Donnie Thacker, and they have 40 seconds to shoot. So Thacker now at full draw.
This is an interesting format,
isn't it? This is something that this archer right here, Stefan Hansen, is used to. It mirrors some of what World Archery does, or USA Archery. So Hansen with a 10.
He called up, or he motioned for it, and he just got the 10. So this is interesting. This is going to go quick.
Louis Holmes called for upper as well. And now
several 8 shot right here in this first round. See what Jacob does.
Recent college grad Jacob Marlowe. All right, so bang, bang, bang. Just like that it happens. You got a chance to watch every shooter shoot. Now they're going to score them. So Hempen with an 8 to start things off. Again, we've seen shooters in their first. Hempen, of course, has won many, many things as a young shooter. He's been shooting since he was 3 years old, but again, a dream of his to be here in a pro shoot down in ASA competition, probably shaking those nerves off a little bit.
For sure. I think this is a testament to what these targets look like. These guys know how far they are because this is the known pro.
Yep.
So they're ranging them, and they're having a tough time keeping it in the 10. They're aiming at those 12 rings, but they're having a tough time seeing.
So 8-8 so far. Now, of course, you've seen the other scores in the classes that have to judge distance, and we would expect to see these higher scores here. But it was quite a challenge that ASA had set up for this known pro class in the ranges on Friday and earlier today. A lot of foliage. This tournament happening in a 10. I say so. Stefan Hansen in with a 10. So, by the way, Hansen. I mean, what can you say? He shot 12 up yesterday, and he shot 28 up today to get here.
He's a threat at every tournament he goes to.
Yeah, he was definitely our highest mover.
He's a beast of a target archer and 3D archer. He's he's just good.
Brady Hempen, Paducah, Kentucky. So Kentucky being represented by a couple archers today. And now for Jacob Marlowe, the Howling Wolf. So what'll happen now is the archers are going to do their normal shift. So Marlowe moves to the number 1 position. Brady's going to move to the number 2 position. But the number 1 position is always going to start.
So Brady will shoot first again?
Nope.
The number one
position on the field of play. Ultimately, what that does is it allows the number 1 qualifier by the end of the 5th arrow. They're going to shoot at the 5th target. They're going to have 4 arrows to decide what they're going to do.
So Jacob's going to shoot first here.
Jacob will shoot first.
Okay. Interesting format.
The idea behind this format is all to allow the viewer and the spectator to keep eyes all in the same spot, to also allow more exposure, get you more familiar with the shooter, because as we go 5-on-5, sometimes it's difficult to catch everybody doing everything. So we know Jacob.
Good look at Jacob there.
Oh, he went for the 14.
He sure did.
He might have caught that too. No surprise from Marlowe.
Kid's got some game. Brady works a nice shot there. There, he got him. Got some points.
Absolutely. Now Donnie Thacker, creator of the sweet spot. You can see
it working there.
Scoring, screen.
Donnie's having a tough time seeing these targets.
I think so. Now Hansen.
You talk about a guy that can aim a bow.
Right in the middle.
Stefan can hold one.
By the way, there's World Archery that's going on this weekend. He chose to come here.
Ooh. Louis changing his light setting. 40 seconds, not a lot of time to let down, so he can't let down again. He won't have enough. Well, you see 24 on the clock there. He's got a little bit of time.
Good shot. Good shot. So normally what you see is as soon as they're done, they're going to shift position. But in this one, we're going to keep him in position. So as we saw, Jacob Marlowe
making his move.
Making his move. He is going to miss his graduation ceremony next weekend, Jacob Marlowe, from college, because he's going to be in California. Hempen, got to say, he was leader after day 1. And a lot of times when we see young shooters lead after day 1, they fall off a little bit, but came in as co-leader with Donnie Thacker.
Good young shooter.
Okay. If Donnie was able to catch an 8.
Just a little low again.
Which also means if Donnie wants to compete for this win, he's got to start getting aggressive.
They may all take their turn on that taper now.
If you're new to ASA archery, this is the known pro class, which means that they can break out rangefinders and they can range it, and they have obviously on their sights the distance. So it becomes oftentimes more of where do I aim and execution. But still never a gimme, especially at small targets like this, all the way down range. And Stefan Hansen, I think he was going for the 12 because I can see his head from our position. He was kind of shaking his head. He was going for the 12, but he got the 10. I think it was more of a safety call from that distance. He shot 1-8 today and only a couple of 10s.
Yeah, these targets are silhouetted, so they're hard to see any detail. So if a guy, Stefan's fairly new to this 3D game. If he'd been shooting a javelina for years, more than likely he could have 12'd it just by silhouetting it, but not knowing, they're probably aiming a little bit safe.
So Louis Holmes will transition to target number 1, and he will be our leadoff shooter. Louis Holmes, 5 years as a pro. 2017 Paris, Texas known pro winner. So it's been a couple years for him. His grandmother's here in attendance. out of Friendship, Wisconsin. HVAC guy in his daily life. Very funny too.
He's a good, a good dude right there.
Oh yeah. Always has a smile on his face.
Yeah, he's as nice as they come too. Louis, he's a good guy. He can shoot too.
And smart. Obviously, he used the 40 seconds to his advantage by letting down and then shooting a 12. Wow. Holmes ain't playing.
He didn't waste any time.
14. You can see Marlowe.
Good 10 for Jacob.
Yeah.
Brady's on the Blesbach. Center
middle.
10. Donnie on that bomb of a javelina. I don't know if he called up or not.
I don't know. I don't think so from his reaction.
Stefan on that wolf. There hasn't been a lot of action on that wolf down there, doesn't seem like. Ooh. He won't like that one.
Very unusual miss for Hansen. Let's go to scoring. Louis Holmes. We know that one. That was pretty clear. The crowd can score that one. Good 14.
This one is far from over.
Oh, yeah. Jacob Marlowe, who really has just found his way back. I think, you know, how do you finish off your college career and shoot those first 2 rounds and expect to be, you know, 100% his first appearance this year? And oftentimes he just says, I should be there, and he's back at it.
Just a natural talent. Jacob said he really didn't practice a whole lot. He's been so busy with school and finals, and
look at him.
He's a good archer, yeah.
Yeah.
Here he is.
So it looks like a 10 for Hempen. So that's going to extend his lead well over Donnie. So Louis Holmes has shot himself right into a tie for the lead.
Yeah, it's changing every arrow.
And Marlowe. Oh, he did call up 12.
He did call it.
So he stays within 2. And Hansen, though, he's not going to be happy with himself on this one. An 8 for Hansen. 3-way tie at the top of the leaderboard. Hempen, Holmes, Marlowe. Backers 2 adrift. 6 back is Hansen. But I know Stefan the way I know Stefan. He's going to be gunning for a 14 on this one.
No doubt. They're each going to get their turn. Brady started on that, so he didn't get to shoot at the 14. But the rest of them, I would say, are going to, since everybody's doing it.
In this group of 5 that we have for Known Pro this year, whoever wins will be the first-time winner for 2019. Because we've had Chris Perkins, who won Foley, and Dane Johnson, which was an incredible run for that 18-year-old in Fort Benning. And if Brady Hempen can come back and win this one, and we have 2 18-year-olds win back-to-back.
Right. Just shows you the depth in that class.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of world-class archers. There's some big names that are more household names, but just look how deep this talent goes, these young kids.
Told you.
Boom.
14.
Just that easy.
Rock 'em, sock 'em, robots.
They can see that. If they can see it, they can hit it.
Well, I think
that looks tall.
Yeah, that looks really tall. Not towards the 14.
Jacob may 14 this Blesbach. No,
Ooh.
Just went it to 12. See what Brady does on that long javelina.
Looked like a long hold for him. Like the release just wouldn't go off.
A lot of movement, yeah. He had to work the release a long way to get it to fire.
Donnie, we're gunning for that 12. Just high for Donnie. All right, so first scoring run is going to be Hansen, 14, right back in the mix. By the way, in 2018, in this class, we never had a repeat winner. That's the depth of the field.
Interesting.
We had Thacker win in Foley, had Gillingham, who's now in the senior pro class. Jesse Broadwater, Jacob Marlowe won round 4 in Augusta. Chance Bobeth, Glenn Boardwell, and Garrett Ayresman.
Yeah.
So then you have Chris Perkins and Dane Johnson. So we haven't had a repeat winner since before 2018.
Can't dominate this class.
No, you can't. No, you can't. It's a deep, deep class. And by the way, at this point in the season for the known pro shooter of the year, there's a fierce battle going on between Justin Hanna, who didn't make it into this shoot down.
This is the first shoot down Justin's not made in quite some time.
Quite some time.
He's made a bunch of consecutive shoot downs and still searching for that first victory, but it'll come.
But Hanna leads the way in the shooter of the year and is the lone American in the top 3 in this class in shooter of the year. As Stefan Hansen is in second spot, and Christopher Perkins, the Canadian, is in third at the moment. So we'll get those scores updated as soon as we're done with this one.
Interesting.
All right, so Donnie will come in with a 10. So that's going to take him to 82. Double check that score. So now all of a sudden, just like that, it's 2-point shift for these top 5. So Hempen and Marlowe now sit atop the leaderboard with a 3-way tie for third between Thacker, Hansen, and Holmes.
It's crazy how that board's changed up, but they're all within 2 points of each other.
I think it plays more on the difficulty of this field, and it shows you just how incredible all of our unknown classes, the shooters that we have in all 3 of those classes, were able to judge these targets.
I think the unknown shooters spend more time with the targets, judging them and practicing, so they know the creases, they know the armpits, they know the height, the depth, they know everything about these targets, where these guys are just picking spots and aiming. So I think that experience would be an advantage. An unknown 3D guy that would jump into known pro, I think he would have a heck of a chance.
One at a time, shoot down. 40 seconds on the clock. Donnie Thacker leads us off in position number 1. There's Donnie with a 14 and a little smile on his face. Now Hansen. So Thacker didn't want to have any part of third place.
Good strong shot there by Stefan.
He's going for the 12. Just drifted off a little to the left.
14 net, Louis.
There he went for it.
He went for it. Long javelina for Jacob. Get a 10 here. I believe he did, unless he called upper. I don't know if he did. That may be an upper if he called it.
Hempen with a great 12.
There's a bonus ring on that wolf.
Crowd loving the competition here. All right, first score. Donnie 14, confirmed.
Wow.
Thumbs up for Donnie. Moving on to Louis Holmes. All right, we're going to move on to Hansen. Hansen in with a 10. Yes, we're going to move him to 92. Now Louis Holmes. Yeah, we couldn't see it from that. Yeah, from the floor cam. He definitely went for it, but 8. So that aggression nips him just a little bit. That's going to be a big mosquito bite for him. So Holmes going to drop to 490 just like that.
Man, isn't that something?
Just going back and forth. The beauty of ASA 3D competition.
Everybody was within 2 of each other. Now there's going to be at least a 6-point spread.
Welcome to risk-reward shooting, right?
One arrow at a time. You never know.
Never know. Wow.
Mr. Jacob Marlowe.
Wow. Come on.
Wow.
At the longest target out there, 48 yards
that.
away. That's how you do it.
Tied him up with Donnie, and then this 12 here is going to put Brady in a three-way tie for first.
We just had a three-way tie for third. Unbelievable. This kid is just a rock.
Yeah, they're battling.
All right, so Hempen, Thacker, Marlowe, 496 apiece. Hanson at 92, Holmes at 90.
Here come the 14 rings.
All right, you think so?
Yeah.
So we've had all of them shot. So we're gonna break out. Well, they're gonna give them their arrows back first. Yeah, they're gonna have to break out target number 6.
I think you'll see if they bring that deer out. It's a lighter color. You can see the definition. You saw how they shot the taper. Those black arrow holes up there by the 14, they smoked it. They had a good reference. This deer, it's lighter. They're going to be able to see the arrow holes. Good reference. I think we're going to see some really close arrows at the rings where the turkey, the other animals, you saw their arrows miss their mark, you know. I just don't think these guys can see as well. This artificial lighting with this silhouette backdrop, I just don't think they can see the detail they need to be super accurate, but I think they're going to see it here. Marked up good.
Paris, Texas, Paris High School. We don't have a cougar here, but this is the home of the Cougars.
Beautiful practice facility.
It's Texas.
Football.
Football.
Football's king.
High school football is king in Texas. Beautiful facility. Appreciate our hosts here in Paris, Texas. ASA event, one of the biggest events they have in this town. Very welcoming across the board. They started hanging signs letting know that we were coming in town for this one a little over a week ago. Hospitality's been unbelievable. We appreciate all the people here in Paris, Texas. The Love Civic Center area, just down the street, is where we had our first 2 days of shooting for pros. Shooting continues for the amateurs into tomorrow. About half the day.
It's a nice area. Hotels, restaurants are in nice proximity to the tournament location here. Everything's fairly close, just a few-minute drive. It's we've been coming here for a lot of years.
And if this lights your fire and you want to come out and shoot with us, May 18th. We're in Augusta, Georgia, June 22nd, London, Kentucky, August 3rd, in Metropolis, Illinois.
So Lou was at a 490, I believe. Let's see what he's going to do here.
Going for the 14, dropped it just outside.
Yeah, going to be a 5.
That'll take him to a 495. Hanson, I believe, was at a 92.
92, I believe. He's going to gun for it.
Now we're back into the normal way, or the way that a lot of people who've watched ASA in the past have been used to this type of shooting. Because we have that one target set up, obviously we just have to rotate them in and out. And there's only one arrow per target allowed when we get to this level. No glance outs.
Now, Stefan was 92 or 94, because I know the 3 guys left are all tied at 96. I think he still goes for the 14 here. He's ready.
And they go back to 1 minute as well. Just below.
Just under it.
All right, so that'll keep him in 4th spot. That should be, I believe that should be a 97 for him. So now it's our 3-way tie. Oh, it's an 8 for Hanson. Sorry. So that's going to put him at 500.
500.
Yep. So again.
Yeah.
So then we have a 3-way tie at 96 points. So all any one of these archers has to do is just hit foam in order to knock, all three of them have to hit foam in order to knock Hansen off of the podium, because he's our highest point scorer at the moment, with a total of 14 points available for Jacob Marlowe.
A 5 here will get him at least 3rd place.
You know him. What do you think he's going to do?
I think he's going for the 14. I think he wants to smash it and see if these guys behind him can handle the pressure.
Boy, got it. Wow.
With a little hip English.
He's still baffled. He hasn't even glassed it yet. Here comes the official score. They don't even have to take a moment. He's already pulling an arrow. That's a 14. Pressure's on, Donnie.
Yep. Donnie and Brady. That 14 just got smaller for Donnie and Brady. We're not done. If one of them hits it, we'll keep shooting.
So Jacob Marlowe hasn't won since Augusta last year, trying to break that. Donnie Thacker hasn't won since Foley of 2018. And Brady Hempen, who's our last shooter, has never won as a pro, in only his 3rd event as a known pro shooter at 18 years old.
He's done pretty well for his first appearance in a shoot down, I'd say.
Absolutely.
He can hold his own.
Thacker's got to shoot the 14 to force another arrow.
Boy, it looked like he was holding pretty good there.
Now he does have the advantage of that sweet spot too. So you know, the way that works is going to give a light signal. If he's too light, the light's off. Too hard, the light's red. If he's in the middle, he's green. A lot going on in this one. Tremendous amounts of pressure. It's exactly what Jake wanted. Donnie lets it fly. And, ooh,
that's tall for a 5.
Just over it. Tim Gillingham with the only one clapping in the room. So Donnie with a 5. That will still outscore Hansen. So Donnie guaranteed at this point at least 2nd place.
Podium finish, yeah.
All right, here we go.
That's what Jacob wanted.
Paducah, Kentucky's
14 it put the pressure on these guys.
18-year-old Brady Hempen.
Big arrow for Brady right here.
Can he keep this thing rolling?
Interesting play.
Wow, so Brady decides to hold on to a podium position, play it safe. And that's it. Jacob Marlowe, after a 12 from Hempen, after that very aggressive 14, is now your known pro 2019 Easton Southwest Shootout champion. And he does it in fine style. Congratulations from his brother. Wow. So Marlowe, first win since Augusta last year. First win as a college grad. Hasn't even gone to the graduation yet. It's next week.
Good for him.
Watch out. If Jacob Marlowe doesn't have any distractions with his archery, things could get really serious for the rest of this field.
Kid's got some game.
Wow. Now, Darren, obviously, thank you so much for joining me. We appreciate it. I know you've got to go to the podium.
I'm going to write a check for that young man right there. Give him a little $12,500 bonus.
As pro staff coordinator, we appreciate all the time you've spent with us. It's awesome, as always, having you here.
Thank you for having me. Enjoy sitting here talking about this for everybody.
It was awesome. Thank you so much for the insight.
Thank you.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you at the next one.
Can't wait to do it again.
Can't wait to see you in the next one in the Shootdown.
I hope.
But here's our winner. Let's go down to PJ.
Jacob Marlowe, you had to shoot the 14 to take it. Tell me about that last shot.
The last one was pretty crazy because, in the shoot-off, I was having a lot of hides. And then, after that last error, I found my sight knob loose. And I'm like, oh, expletive. And, so because I had only hit, 2 rings in there. One was the 14 early on. It was close up, not in the matter. The other one was javelina. I called up or aimed center. And the last one, I found that knob loose because I knew it was I tightened it down, and I had no idea where it was about to go. So the shot wasn't as nervous as it could have been because I didn't know where the arrow was going to end up anyway.
So how's that feel? Recent college graduate. I mean, this has got to be a great accomplishment for you now.
Oh, yeah, dude, I'm super pumped about that one because honestly, dude, I haven't had the time I've wanted to practice for this tournament, so I didn't feel completely prepared coming here, but I'm so happy with how it turned out.
All right, it was a great finish, Jacob. Congratulations.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it, PJ.
Unbelievable. Congratulations to Jacob Marlowe. What a victory here. Staying focused all weekend long. He was able to work his way in to this shoot-down final with 22 bonus rings on a 440, 4 points behind, and he just takes victory in Paris, Texas. It has been an absolutely phenomenal night here at the 2019 Mackenzie ASA Pro-Am Tour. The 2019 Easton Southwest Shootout is in the books. You want to join us May 18th for the True Ball and Vortex Pro-Am in Augusta, Georgia. If you don't watch it here, come out and shoot with us. We look forward to seeing you. Well, for our entire crew and for Darren Christianberry, I'm Greg White. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you in a few weeks' time for ASA competition.
Get in the red zone. Carbon Express's small diameter Maxima Red SD, taking big game hunting to an all-new level, making other competitors' single spine arrows obsolete. Patented tri-spine technology controls arrow flight, delivering better downrange energy and accuracy, all in a small diameter shaft. Think you're shooting the best hunting arrow in the game? Think again. Stay in the red zone. Assume nothing and shoot Carbon Express.
We don't build these bows to be different. We build them to be better. We're the outsiders, the mavericks, the fearless. We forge our own path. We're not chasing anyone, but we know what they're running from. It's an obsession, and the obsessed never rest.
ASA Tour is brought to you by Specialty Archery Products, by Carbon Express, and by Elite Archery.